Hello, and welcome to day 7 of the Community Map Challenge, Open Spaces. If we haven't met before, my name is Juliana McMillan-Wolhoit. I am the principal consultant and owner of Tabulae Spatial Services, where we are cartographers of change for both people and organizations. I'm really passionate about leveraging geospatial data to help move communities forward through training and mentoring and all sorts of other things, which is part of why I had the idea for this Community Map Challenge. So today we are mapping open spaces. And open spaces matter a lot for communities and the thriving of communities. And the reason why they matter so much is that they help create space, and it's an opportunity for people to get outside, to connect with nature, and is also sort of a sign of it not being too built up. So, but open spaces can look different depending on where you are. So we will be mapping in another day on the challenge parks. So I encourage you to begin to think about open spaces in a slightly different way. And so you could think about open spaces as quite literally places that don't have buildings on them. So one option is that you could use satellite imagery to map green spaces. So I used a plugin in QGIS, and I used the NAIP, which is the National Agriculture Infrastructure Program. I believe that's what it stands for in the US. Their satellite imagery, and for the entire county of St. Louis, I mapped the open space, the permeable and pervious and impervious surfaces in that community, and was able to identify sort of open spaces. So that's something that you could do. You can get that satellite data from NAIP, from Google Earth Engine. You can get it from Sentinel-2. Depending on what resolution you need, you could go with something like Landsat, but that's going to be probably more coarse resolution than what you want. So that is an option. Also, if you're mapping in the US, you could use what's called the US National Land Cover Dataset, the NCLD, which is, I believe, comes out every 5 years, and it is a dataset that is of land cover. And so it has urban, rural, or sort of like different densities, and as well as land cover. Now, it's a pretty coarse resolution, and so you may end up finding that it's not super great for whatever the resolution of your analysis is. But that's a really great data set if you're looking at a bigger region in terms of something that you might want to look at. I always talk about Openstreetmap because I think that is a great option for you, and you can use Openstreetmap has the Openstreetmap via GeoFabric, and you can use the land use shapefile, and you can pull in the natural areas. You can pull in land use and natural area shapefiles to get some of that open space. But I think you can also get creative with how you want to define open spaces. So you could begin to think about what some of the negative spaces are in your community. What are places that people actually use as open space to be able to get outside and connect with nature? Do kids play in the street because there's a lack of open space and places for them to play? Is that something that you could map? Are there plazas or other places where people connect? That's something else that you can map. You could also do something like, what is the distance that people have to travel to get to their closest open space? All sorts of different options for you as you map, and I am really excited to see what you do. As always, I am rooting for you and cheering you on. You can go to thecommunitymaps.org and sign up to join this free challenge, as well as you can submit your map to our Community Developed Atlas.